Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Lofi Mafia podcast. I'm Jace, and joining me is...
Hello, I'm Lynn.
I'm Jenna, or you might hear Jace call me Izza.
And
It's a frequent misconception.
together we make up the Lofi Mafia.
Yay, Lofi.
Hopefully we'll get better at this as this goes on.
Hopefully, I bet. Crossing fingers.
But yeah, so basically we're just three friends who, out of boredom, decided to try a hand in the podcast.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? We're about to find out.
So feel free to join us, listen in, as we talk about all kinds of random stuff like Star Wars, movies, games, shenanigans. Who knows?
And like,
For the most part, it'll probably be just us three. Maybe once in a while we might switch someone out, bring in a friend or something. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the first one. I don't know. That was awkward.
Topic.
thing.
Yeah.
Hot topic.
Or maybe we should actually tell the listeners about ourselves, because now we're just three disembodied voices.
That is true.
Ladies first.
You're older than me. You can go.
Wow, we're so good at this. I'm very proud of this community.
Are we a
I
community?
believe in you, old man. You can do it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lynn. I guess a little bit about me. I just turned 20, which is pretty cool. I have had several existential crises about that. I really like to draw. Art is a huge passion of mine, and I like nerd culture a lot. I like to play video games, and Star Wars is one of those big franchises for me. It's actually how I met Jason Jenna, which is really cool. I think it's pretty neat.
Okay. So my name is Jenna, or Izza. I will respond to either. I am still in high school, unfortunately, and I don't even turn 18 till the summer, so there's that. But a couple of my hobbies include gaming. I do like to sketch. Not a terribly great artist, but I love it, so I'll still do it. Like Lynn said, I met Lynn through our Star Wars server, but I actually met Jace 7 years ago. Playing Minecraft.
6 or 7, I don't know.
6 or
Around
7.
there.
We can say 6.5. Play
Sure, that
Minecraft,
works.
and he's the only friend I've kept throughout that entire your middle school Minecraft phase. So
Getting into the deep lore.
I'm honored. I'm so honored. Oh, I guess it's me now.
Yep. Time for you
alright.
now.
So I'm Sentient Samurai, or Sam/Jace/whatever. At this point in time, I've had so many nicknames, and I'm pretty sure it's just gonna grow. Honestly.
call him General Biscuit.
But please don't. That was a weird point in time. How did it even? Oh wait. How did that even happen?
You know what? I don't think I've ever heard this story either.
Oh, I remember. Okay. For some reason, I changed my username to General Banhammer, and for some reason, I think it was Fire. A friend of me and Jenna basically, for some reason misread it as Biscuit and did really bad Photoshop.
As one does.
The rest is history.
I
history,
refuse to answer to it. I will admit though, I have had arguably worse nicknames.
I couldn't think of any of them. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not like you two are responsible for one of them. No, definitely not.
No.
But anyway, that was a huge tangent. But yeah, so Sans at J, so y'all can honestly call me whatever. I'm 20, like Lynn, currently a sophomore in university slash college slash whatever it's called in whatever part of the world you listener lives in. And like as I said, met her randomly via Minecraft 6.5 years ago. No, and met Lynn as well through a mutual friend, and then through our love of Star Wars. And the three of us kind of really bonded over that. And we were bored, so we decided, hey, let's do a podcast.
I'm really excited about this, not gonna lie.
We'll see. Hopefully, honestly, if we even hit like 10 listeners, I'ma be happy.
Yes.
That means 10 people put up with our shenanigans. Our chaotic energy.
Yes.
Yes. You have not even seen a quarter of it.
Oh boy. So have we got a show for you?
Yay.
Please write us.
Oh yeah, please no.
What?
DMCA who? I don't know.
No. It's obscure. It's a very specific thing. If we're lucky, no one's gonna be able to tell it. Except for like a very select few, and then the people do understand the reference, like, wait a second, I know that. And they're gonna be like, you can see them like little typing furiously on their keyboards, trying to figure and ask and say, hey, is that a reference to, you know what?
Blank.
It's like a little Easter
Wink,
egg.
wink.
Yeah. Alright, so, what do we want to do for the topic? Because I already forgot what we had planned.
Should we, should we talk about like the name? Like why we chose the name?
Oh, maybe a little explanation would be helpful.
Yes.
Because someone might be like clicking on this, like, what in the world is this supposed to mean?
Well,
I didn't know.
I think we should just kind of leave it for now.
It'll be a forever mystery. Forever. Ooh. Maybe we'll tell you the story of our username at 100 listeners.
Ooh, that's ambitious. Cause like I said, like I'd be impressed if we hit 10, but 100, yeesh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Maybe 20. Maybe 50.
25.
25. Okay.
25 seems reasonable-ish. Well, actually, how about we see? How about we see how this does, and depending on that, maybe.
Yes. I do. Today.
I mean, cause like I don't know, cause like I might share this with like my like real life friends, but like I'm not sure how that's gonna go if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah.
Like cause this is gonna be so awkward or whatever. So like, do I really want to share with them? Because if I share with them, then we do get like more listeners. But at the same time, it's like, do I really want to?
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, technically, we're not seeing, we're listening to an extent. We're talking, the listeners are listening. What? I'm not wrong. I'm still correct.
You are correct. You are there. I see no lies in this.
Exactly.
Yes.
So.
Okay. So I think it was a month or so ago by now. I know Disney did their little investors meeting and unveiled like a lot of cool projects that they're going to be doing for the next couple of years, you know, with all their bajillions of all the money that they have. Yes. And like I was really excited about a lot of them, especially the Star Wars ones, and just how tiny it went, you know, Star Wars has gone from. Like it used to be this tiny little, you know, one film by this guy named George Lucas, and then now it's just like you get a show and you get a show, and there's a everyone has Star Wars lunchboxes or whatever, you know? It's like amazing how that's blown up.
Is that still a thing? Like having like your own like a fancy lunchbox. and like showing it off.
Probably for like
I used to.
elementary school
No, but I'm wondering,
people.
like, is that still a thing? Cause like, is
I
that
don't
still
think
something?
so.
Cause I was wondering, is that
I'm
something like the cool kids do?
I'm staring at a Mass Effect lunchbox I bought a couple months ago.
I love that
Okay,
for you.
that answers that question.
I got some vintage uh Star Wars lunch boxes, like the metal tin ones. I think it was one of them. They were both A New Hope ones, from a family friend, and they're pretty neat. I don't think I'll ever use them, but I think they're neat.
That's honestly
Jimmy.
fair. It makes sense, but oh well. Yeah, I'm
I
like
think
here. So I have like the list pulled up right now of like all the announcements. So,
oh yeah.
quick refresher. Let's see, like film, blah blah blah. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rangers of New Republic, Ahsoka, Andor, Star Wars Bad Batch, Star Wars Visions, Lando, Acolyte, A Droid Story. And then the next feature, December 2023. Next feature film, Rogue Squadron. That's a lot. I keep forgetting like how much they announced. Like I remember it was a lot, but holy cow.
Yeah. Do you think there are franchises like going on right now that might hit it big in the future, like a new Star Wars or something like that? Or do you think that Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and all that is going to be it, I guess, for a while now?
Are you saying
You know?
like what might have like a huge cultural impact?
Yeah. Because, like, I don't think anyone anticipated Star Wars out of all the movies that came out around the 70s, that Star Wars was going to be like this new, big thing and such a cultural such a cultural shift. That'd be interesting to find out.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Jenna?
Think back through kind of what's been released in the past couple of years, because I know the Maze Runner has pretty much run its course by now.
Hmm.
That was the first thing that came to mind. I know Hunger Games, a new book was released like this past year. Um, and there is a movie question mark. But honestly, there's not too much to explore. Like with Star Wars, the thing was, like, it was that one line from Obi-Wan where he was talking to Luke about fighting the Clone Wars. And that basically sparked the entirety of the prequel trilogy, which sparked everything before the prequels, which sparked the Clone Wars itself, and then Rebels, and then starting the tie-in movies, and then you had the sequels. It was like, oh, what happened after Darth Vader died and Palpatine died?
Hmm.
With like, a lot of the other franchises that have gotten popular, though, there's been like a really definitive end
Yeah,
to
that's
them.
fair.
Whereas, I guess with Star Wars and Marvel, it's always been left open-ended.
Yeah, and I think that's what divides like a classic timeless franchise with other things that are not as timeless, if that makes sense. Like with books, I'm trying to think of an example. Um like I remember the like I used to watch Voltron, the latest, I think it was on Netflix or something like that DreamWorks
Ooh, it
did.
was
And
good. Not gonna lie, like
yeah, that one was good.
it was a little bit
Um
good.
last season was but
Actually,
I enjoyed it. Was a good ride.
actually, before we go too further, let me just say
Yeah.
right now, potential spoiler warning to any listeners,
Yes.
because we're gonna be jumping all
Yeah,
over the place and we might forget to say this. So yeah, you've
Yes.
been warned. Potential
Yes.
spoilers. We'll try not
If
to, but
we
just be warned.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We will go on a long tangent about a bunch of different topics.
Like we'll try to say
Yeah.
spoiler warning before we say that it's like a big spoiler, but just in case we forget, here's your spoiler warning right now. But sorry, I interrupted
Go.
you, Lynn. Continue.
No, you're good. But yeah, I was just thinking like with Voltron, like it's like the best that you can do with something like that is remake it because of the original show, I think in the 80s or something like that. But you can't just, and I guess there's some differences between the original 80s Voltron and the newer spin-off Voltron, but there's not so much of like a growth in the universe. And I think when you have that growth and that room to grow within the universe that your franchise is going to be in, I think that makes a much bigger difference on the audience and how it's going to take that and how it's going to be impacted as well.
Mm.
What do you guys think?
I think like there's a lot of series that have ended well. Like my first thought is How to Train Your Dragon. Like it
Ooh.
was bittersweet watching the last movie in theaters and kind of seeing how everything tied together. And then I think they have like one animated show on Netflix, but they're not trying to get something out of it
Yeah.
every year. I will bring up Harry Potter as a negative example of that. I know there's been a lot of controversy on social media about a couple things that Rowling has put out, but she keeps trying to add stuff to the universe when I think there's been 7 books, there's been 8 movies, there's been a play, there's been a play script. I think it's like good to leave and let be and kind of let people, yes, that was a good period of time.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like you need to have a balance between putting allowing room to grow and then also not putting in too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy about like fandoms on social media. Like you'll go and you'll see headcanons everywhere. It's like that's kind of
Yeah.
cool because when you try to start adding too much, I'm not saying that franchises exist for people to be creative with, but franchises are an opening for people to be creative with. So by kind of forcing everything down your throats, like oh well, people can't really imagine. I'm just going to say Dumbledore doing X or Y because the author has already explained that Dumbledore does A through Z.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so leaving and let be kind of allows people the creativity to say, hey,
Mhm.
I think it would be cool if this character did this or this character did that.
Yeah. Plus the fan content is also kind of neat too at times. Not the super crazy stuff, but like, you know, some people just like to have fun with things, you know? And it's kind of fun to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think like going back, I guess to like your original question, Lynn. Like we're going like what we think like might be like the next big franchise is. I honestly think like these are my personal opinions. Like you're more than welcome to disagree, listeners. If you're welcome to just like get a keyboard, just type really fast and disagree. But I
Personal
think the
opinions?
biggest,
What?
yeah, but they're allowed to express their opinions, even if it's hate. As long, here's what, you're more than welcome to disagree. But if you do think I have a bad idea, give me your reasonings for like what's your counter argument. Don't just say that you hate it. Just give me some reasoning or something. But anyway, so I think that the issue is that a lot of like the modern film companies or whatever lack originality. I think prime example of this is Disney. Is that I think they're running out of fresh ideas. Like if you look at how many live action remakes they've made, past several years it feels like they don't have anything new, anything unique. So just trying to take something old and just like remake it, give it a new spin or whatever. I think that was like what you were kind of mentioning earlier. But I think like
Mhm.
that there needs to be like to adapt to the times, to find something that's just something that's gonna grab the attention. Of course, the other issue with that is the current world we live in. I think is like the average person has like a much shorter attention span. If we're being completely honest here, like that's why I
Yeah.
think a lot of things, like I think TikTok, for example, or anything with that short video format, has really blown up over the past several years. I think is just because like kids and younger people in general just don't have as long attention span to really like sit down and watch something long. They need just something quick, like instant gratification. Is that the term? I'm not sure. It's in it's
Yeah.
quick, wrapped up nicely, tied in a little bow. So that's why I think like TV shows I think can also like be nice because then you can have like a little episode or something. You can break it up. You don't have to binge, even though I'll admit I'm guilty of binging way too many shows at once. But we don't talk about we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
talk about that. I still have like 5 shows right now. I'm like in the middle of watching and like I'll like
Oh
keep
my
forgetting.
gosh, I can't do that. I can only work on one show or else my little pea brain will just explode.
Okay, here's my problem. Like, I'll start a show, right? And I'll get through it, but
Yeah.
like, I'll binge. I'll binge so much, and then I'll get like burnt
Uh,
out. So I'll need like a break from it. I'll be like, okay, I need to take a break. Because every show I binge has like several seasons. So I make it like 2 seasons. I'll be like tired. I'm like, okay, I need a break. And I'll be like, oh, this show looks interesting. And I'll binge that. And then I'll be like, oh, wait, and I'm tired of this. Rinse and
the
repeat.
duality of that.
Rinse and repeat. It's a problem. I need help. I feel like fine. Actually, now I think about it, I haven't watched any of them recently. I should do that and actually like finish them.
Yeah, maybe.
I tried over the summer. I finished one
I
show
believe you.
out of 6.
I had a lot of plans over quarantine. You know how many of those came to fruition?
-1.
At point
Negative.
seven.
Sorry, we have no faith. We have no faith, Jenna. I'm sorry.
Hey, at least mine wasn't a negative number.
My answer was -2. It's okay. I have less faith in myself. You're good.
Aw.
But I do like you were talking about, Jace. I think it's hard to start investing your time in something. Like I'm wanting to get into Game of Thrones because one of my best friends is going on and on about it, and I'm just looking at the what is it, 7 books right now, and then 8 seasons of television. It's like, man, that's just a lot of time to get into.
Yeah, that's.
Wait, what was
I
it
And
again?
then compared to, somehow have fallen into like the Dream SMP fandom. It's like I'm enjoying
Yes.
I'm enjoying what I'm doing, like just kind of watching and drawing and
Yeah.
thinking and whatnot. But man, that's been a lot of time watching past
Yeah.
videos and because there's so many people that
Yeah.
Oh,
everything.
I'll be
So
honest.
I.
Go on, Lynn. My bad.
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say I totally understand because I have a lot of friends who are into the Dream SMP and I kind of am like not totally into it because I again like you were saying there's so much quote unquote lore to the Dream SMP that I haven't that I'm just kind of a little intimidated, to go back and see, okay, I just like see what has happened before, I decided to jump in because I heard about it through, I guess, Among Us and like from streamers like Saikuno, Disguised Toast, and all those other people playing with the Dream SMP people. And then I was like, oh wow, they have this cool little Minecraft SMP. But then I'm like a little intimidated and I just kind of wanted, a video kind of explaining everything. But that's really true what you were saying, Jace, how like our attention spans have gotten so smaller. I've taken a lot of like every single film class that I've taken has always like said like it used to be a rule and a standard within the film industry that if the audience isn't impressed with the film within 10 minutes of like of it starting, then you're not gonna get profit off of it. Nobody's gonna be interested. But that time frame is actually shortened a lot, and it's really you can see that like everywhere.
And I think that's kind of why like a lot of like YouTubers, like just content creators in general, is just like they tend to be very exaggerated. I think the reaction is very explosive kind of thing. Like
And you kind of have to.
they try to do that because you
sometimes.
need to be able to suck someone in. I think that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like they have to
Yeah.
do that because it's their living, so they have to adapt with that, which is really unfortunate in my opinion.
Yeah, you have to like really be loud because there's so much content. Like there, honestly, like the It's probably what all of us collectively have seen as far as like hours of YouTube and stuff like that
Hmm.
is probably only the tip of the iceberg as much as how much content on YouTube there actually
Oh,
is.
absolutely, 100%. Like, I don't think anyone could watch everything on YouTube, like, in their lifetime, honestly.
Didn't
No, that was.
Matt Pat make a video on that or
Did
something like
he?
that?
Did he?
I
Game
mean, it
theory?
honestly sounds like something he would do.
Yeah.
I feel like even so, it must have been a while ago, and I'm sure the numbers just honestly just gone up.
Hmm.
But then also the question is
Someone
like,
let
would
us
you?
know in the comments.
And the question is like, would you actually want to watch every single YouTube
No.
video out there?
No.
No.
Like
No.
Honestly not. I'll
especially
say
since
it.
there's like a dark rabbit hole. I think that you
Mine
don't.
is scary.
Some some of it is like you'll find some good videos, but then most of it is gonna be just like trash and
Mm-hmm.
stuff that is very, very, very questionable. Stuff that I would not want to dive into.
That's not a statement. That's not a statement. Yeah, but I think also
Understatement.
like what you all saying like the dream bleh, words the dream SMP like for stuff like that, like I know TV shows do this, like they'll always have like a before you start a new season, they always have like a previous season, or sometimes even before each episode they have like a last time on, like they have a little
Previously
recap.
on.
Like I wish
Yeah.
YouTubers who do series would do that, like,
Oh
or just YouTubers or any
yeah.
content create. Actually, no, any content creator really. Like, I would love it if every now and then, content creator in question would just create like a little recap video of what's on a point that way, and then
Yeah.
also maybe like even like link the most relevant videos. So that way, it's like okay, if someone new joins in, so you don't have to go through all the previous stuff. There's like a nice little condensed recap of what's going on, so you can easily just jump into it.
Yeah, because people come into your content at different times, and if that doesn't happen, especially if your content is like the Dream SMP and has lore to it
Mm-hmm.
and like a timeline or something like that, because people are going to be lost, especially with like all the memes and
Mm-hmm.
uh content out there that they're going to be like, I don't know what's going on. There's so much that I haven't seen before. I'm a little intimidated to have that like space where you can even just do a highlight video or something like that and be like,
Uh-huh.
here's stuff that is very important to, I guess, the lore and understanding what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
think like social media is so important for those two because I follow a couple of like update accounts. I'm still on the Dream SMP with y'all, but like I follow update accounts. So on the can't on the days like I can't sit down and watch 3 hour streams, I'll just see
Oh yeah.
updates from a Quackity stream. I don't know. Um,
Hmm.
and people are just going to list like the main points. That way I can go and watch the next stream or the next VOD and be like, oh, I'm not lost. I know what happened.
mm-hmm.
And like community feedback is just as important as the actual content, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that are those like those update accounts? Are those like by the actual content creator, or are they just like fan made?
They're made for
What
the most part.
fan made? Yeah.
Fan made for the most part.
Okay.
I think that's good too, because like sometimes us as content creators, not that we're blinded, but like the audience is a much better gauge at like what stands out to a performance than sometimes the content creators are.
Yeah, but I think also the problem is that it's like doesn't get as many eyes on it unless it's like the official, like the content creator actually like putting that out there, letting people know to check it out. But I honestly just wish that more content creators actually like do like little update things, because I think,
Hmm.
in my opinion, honestly, I feel like that would get them more viewers in the long run. Because sometimes like you can just like put someone off, like you like someone, you've seen like some other stuff, but then they'll say they stream a series regularly, but it's just intimidating just to jump in and just watch it and not have any idea what's going on. So I
Hmm.
think that if you give them like a recap and someone can, if someone like finds you, they can just jump in and watching your streams without being like lost, and then that would retain more viewership. But that's just my thoughts, and if that makes sense. I know I explained that kind of weird.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Wow, we really did go from Star Wars to Dream SMP.
We
The
we
Look at
duo.
us.
I think what was the original? Oh yeah, yeah. We should
Okay,
probably like slowly get back on the original question because we just
or I can give y'all
No,
whiplash and
no,
talk
this
about
is all good. I'm here for it.
yeah. So
I
anyone
am.
who's listening, this is honestly how most of our podcast will go. We'll
Just
have like a
gonna ramble.
topic. We'll try to stay on topic. More likely than not, we're just
Maybe
gonna go.
not.
Mm,
We're gonna go on huge tangents. It depends how much we plan in advance.
That is true.
yeah.
Hint: we didn't plan that much in advance for this because we don't know what we're doing. So this is improv,
Look at us. Who would have thought?
completely authentic, just
Yes.
unscripted, just randomness stuff.
Are there any specific shows from the or projects from the Investors Day that Disney was talking about that you're excited about?
I'm a sucker for a lot of spy movies, so I'm stoked for Andor. I think
Ooh.
biased a little bit because Rogue One, like I can never have like a favorite something of series because my opinions always change. But Rogue One, since it's came out, has consistently been my favorite Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
So I think anything like Cassian Andor, it's like yeah, I wanna go watch that.
Yeah.
I'm also excited for Acolyte since that's gonna be one of the first time that okay, it's gonna be the first time that we've seen like the old Republic in live action. One of the first times that we've seen the old Republic in
Yeah.
canon, and even throwing in Legends, it's still gonna be kind of wow. There's 5,000 years before A New Hope, and there's still so much of that timeline. I'm just excited to see what they're gonna come up with. I love Star Wars: The Old Republic. Um,
Hold up, I'm
and
Yes.
so
upset.
Yes,
I
you
know
do.
I'm
it's not gonna
s-
follow that timeline, but it's still gonna be man. There's more than two Sith. That's kind of cool because you're actually gonna see. I I would say almost a gray line a lot more because it's not
mhm.
always like Jedi aren't always the paragons of light and Sith aren't always the epitome of evil. There's always going to be the in between, and I think seeing more than two Sith on a screen is going to kind of show that the Sith can still be nice.
It would be
But
just weird, I think, just overall.
mhm.
But honestly, I'm just upset that Disney just like yeeted like Old Republic and just they made everything like was it
Man.
Legends or whatever, like everything else.
And
Like
it's
they
Yeah.
just
like people put so much time and effort and they just like yeeted it out the window. Like that's just I thought that was like a little bit disrespectful, honestly.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
fair. But at least it's still out there for people to enjoy.
Yeah,
And thank goodness, honestly.
like SOTOR is still running. They have no reason
Yes.
to keep a game that has been out since two. Oh, no, 2012, to have it running as long because it's not even canon. Yet they still publicize it on
Yeah.
the main Star Wars social media networks, and they still keep it running. They still fund Bioware to produce the game. I think that's just pretty neat. Like they care
Yeah.
enough about it, even if they ultimately see it as a way to make money. They're still keeping it running one way or another.
Yeah. Jace, which ones are you excited about?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Like
None of them
I'm
that
like
pique
I'm
your
like I'm
Anything
like
interest?
okay. I'm cautiously optimistic because like
Fair.
hmm.
Marvel side that you're excited about?
Marvel? Hmm. I'm trying to
Did
think.
do a
Yeah,
lot of
let
Marvel.
me like pull up like everything that got announced on Investor Day because I don't remember half the things
That's
honestly.
fair.
So
That's
just
fair.
give me.
While you're doing that, I guess I'll give my answer because I have it pulled up. I like you, Jenna. I'm really excited for Acolyte because it's supposed to be like, isn't it supposed to be like a tad thriller-ish kind of? You know, and I kind of vibe that genre. That's kind of interesting to me. And then the fact that it's the quote unquote what we would think of antagonist, or like the villains getting kind of that protagonist badge, if that makes sense. Being the protagonist of something is kind of cool. And just like you, Jenna, I'm also like, we're finally getting new quote unquote old Republic content after all these years. Like, I'm really hoping that Disney doesn't mess this up, because like this is the one chance I have to get new Old Republic content, please. I
Please
really like the world building of the Old Republic, because it reminded me a lot of the prequels, and just seeing like the Jedi and the Sith, fighting, and just like the all the storytelling in that era as well was really cool, and really I just thought it was pretty neat. Um, and I'm really, of course, I don't know if I could be a true Star Wars fan and not say that I'm not excited, or and say that I'm not excited for the Obi-Wan series. I'm really excited for that one because Ewan McGregor, he's amazing. We all love him,
we all
and
love
I'm
you
really,
in the grave.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, he's so iconic, honestly. Like him and his lightsaber noises that he makes on the
He's
set.
a really hard man.
Oh yeah, and then the Bad Batch, of course. I'm really excited for that one because I was really happy that it was in the same style as the Clone Wars too, because it's such a distinct and amazing style. Probably gonna go off on this because I'm an art person, but just to have that distinct and a smooth style, and how much it's progressed, and especially with the recent season of the Clone Wars, and how good it looks now, especially with modern technology.
I think back to season 1 Clone Wars to season
Oh
7
my
Clone
gosh.
Wars.
Yeah,
Just
that was a jump. I remember rewatching the Clone Wars before I saw season 7, and just like, yeah, it was a trip and a half from one season 1 to season 7 as far as the technology goes.
I'm trying to think. 'Cause
And then,
I think Clone
oh,
was like first. Sorry for interrupting.
no, you're good.
Like I think Clone was like the first TV show I saw, honestly. 'Cause, like I went over like my friend's house. Like he got like like I think it was like the first 3 seasons. Like he bought them from the library. I was like sat in the living room just like watching it. I think I must have been like, ooh, how old was I? I was young. I when did Clone Wars come out? I like need like a timeline.
2008? Oh my gosh, I should know this. I feel really bad.
it's 07, I think it's 08.
Cause he borrowed them from like
Yeah. Yeah, it's 08.
from the library, and I know it's like the first 3 seasons I think he got. So maybe okay. So
Must have been like
yeah, okay.
what?
So they did it every year up to 2013, and then they took a year break, and then Lost Missions came. Okay, yes, I think I must have been 11 or 12 because I don't think there's a season 5 yet. Yeah.
Remember,
That sounds about right.
yeah. I used to follow the Clone Wars like religiously when I was younger. And the Mortis art came out. That traumatized me from when it came out until like 4 or 5 years later. I worked up the courage to watch it again on Netflix.
I was actually a late Clone Wars watcher. I watched it whenever my family got Netflix, I think around 2016. And we just like binged that whole series. And the one that gave me the scar, I guess the mentally scarred moment was the Brain Invaders episode.
Oh, the
That one.
Geonosis.
Yeah,
The-
Geonosis.
Yeah, that one I was like, ew. And then also whenever a spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen
I mean, we kind of already
Clone
covered
Wars.
some spoilers. So yeah, spoiler
But I'm gonna
warning.
do it again. I'm gonna do it again. But spoiler warning. Okay. Whenever Ahsoka leaves, like my whole family, we went into it kind of a mini depressive episode after that because we all loved Ahsoka. We were just like, dang, bro. Did she really just do that? We were all just kind of shocked. And that was our moment. And then of course, so I didn't watch it like when I was little, but I was still like young. But I also didn't watch it like when it went on Disney Plus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the middle.
Okay. Okay. Can I just say that the evolution of Ahsoka, from her her first appearance, all the way to the end, like, oh my word, the character development.
The character is so real.
Like at first I was like, like why does Anakin have an apprentice? That doesn't make any sense. And then as it progressed, it's like, oh my gosh, like she could have become like one of my favorite characters.
Make it work.
But then it hurts because then as it sinks in that weight, since she never appears in episode 3, what are they gonna do? Like, I'll admit, I went through a stage of paranoia. I was like, oh, are they gonna kill her? Please don't kill her. But like, I was spoiler warning again. But the end of the season was at 7, I think. That right? They only did 7 seasons. I can count.
Yeah.
But that final shot though, with the all the helmets, and then the Vader just standing there, and you can see the body language. It's like, because you can see he's not Vader in that moment. He's Anakin, and you can, it just
Doc, you're gonna make me cry again.
It hurts on such a level.
Will make me cry at any point of the day just listening to that song.
It's like
saw this one video. Oh, sorry.
No, it's just so well done. That's the thing. Like, Dave Filoni is an absolute genius. Like the emotional, there's so much emotional attachment to all the characters, and it's just like I gotta admit, I was upset. Like after season 5, it kind of ended, and I was kind of glad they had like a season 6, but like it didn't feel right. And then when they announced season 7, like my excitement was like through the roof. And then like every episode, except for the sisters arc, what are they called? The Martinez.
The Martinez, yeah.
Martinez sisters. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, like that, I did not like that arc. I think
really a lot of people would be in the same.
But like it was Bad Batch was that was good, and then I think Sisters was like but then we have the Siege of Mandalore and it's just and it's just that it's just tied up in a neat little bow. It's
yes. I saw this one meme, this one video of that. Burying the Dead in that first note is the similar to the for Star Wars fans as My Chemical Romance's Welcome to the Black Parade for the emo community. Because like that first note is distinctive and it'll make you cry.
That G note though.
The G note.
The G note.
To all listeners, we have I think this was touched in during our introductions. We have a Star Wars server, and after season 7 finished airing, we have a channel just for spoilers. And not gonna lie, that channel just turned into sadness.
Yes,
because we were all grieving, we were all depressed after season 7.
It was no longer a spoilers channel. It was the sad channel.
We were all in pain. It was a rough time.
We almost renamed it, and then we realized Mandalorian was coming out, and it's like, we still
probably use this for
segue to better things. Man, okay, I was so worried about The Mandalorian when it was first announced. Like I was I was like cautiously optimistic. I was like, okay, this looks promising, but I'm afraid it's gonna get ruined. And then I saw like Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau was on it. I was like, okay, this has potential. And at the first season, I was hooked.
Oh, for sure. I mean, spoilers. Grogu.
just assume this the next from here to wherever it ends, or technically like 10 minutes before this to whenever it ends, is just all spoilers. But continue.
Like, I'll admit, like, I would have watched it regardless because Mandalorian and Star Wars, but I think Grogu was definitely like a high selling point for so many people. Just like, it's something that everyone talks about. It's like, oh, what's this little cute green baby? I better go see what it is. And it drew so many more people into Star Wars too.
I think what really stood out is that a lot of, because it was kind of standalone in a sense. At least the first season was that it was like separate from like the rest of the universe. Like you didn't really have to watch Star Wars. I know, like I think like I saw like reviews and stuff about people who haven't seen Star Wars before or didn't like Star Wars still liked The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who actually got not like us level into Star Wars, but like got into Star Wars because of the Mandalorian, and he was like, "Yeah, Mandalorian's pretty cool," and I'm like, "Bro, that's cool. Glad you like it." Like he beforehand was like, "I don't really like Star Wars, never really got into it," and then he watched the Mandalorian. He's like, "Wow, this is a neat show."
Like season 1 was good. Season 2 was pretty good. Like I liked season 1 better, honestly.
Like I like that
because I feel like in season 2, I feel like the focus really drifted away from the Mandalorian instead it focused on Grogu too much. I think it makes sense because like everyone loves Grogu, but still.
That's fair.
That we did get like the backstory there. I've got in it, and then seeing Bo-Katan.
All the iconic characters.
It like continuing because Rebels really expanded on the whole Mandalore plot, and then seeing that extended was nice because that provided a little bit of closure. Because Rebels was great in the fact that they were able to finish it. And so they tied up storylines, but they still left some storylines open. And so seeing the Mandalore plot continue, that was pretty cool.
Part of me wants to like rewatch everything like chronologically. So it goes episode 1, episode 2, binge Clone Wars again. Episode 3, Solo, Rebels, Rogue One, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Mandalorian, and then the sequel trilogy, which I'm really not, if I'm being honest, I'm not looking forward to binge watching that as much.
Don't forget the holiday special.
Oh, that's it. That's right. I'll be honest.
That was one of the goals in quarantine that I failed marvelously. Might I add? I need to watch again.
Can we appreciate the fact though that we really went from what franchise is gonna blow up after Star Wars to just nerding out about Star Wars?
Come on, when Star Wars geeks that heart, you can't expect
be more organized in the future, but we'll see.
Or maybe
this was kind of like a rambly first episode.
Honestly,
just to kind of get to know our personalities.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, we could try. We'll call this this will be our first episode, just all over the place. I mean, episode 2, we could try being more on topic. Now we've gotten our Star Wars nerdness out.
Yes, we promise we will not be as rambly sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Sometimes, no guarantees. We'll try our best, but we can't make 100% guarantee.
But we can, however, make a 200% guarantee.
Lynn, that's all on Lynn.
Hey, look, there's only one person in here that's really good at math. It's not me.
And not me either.
Where's the door?
There's no door. This is a podcast.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, but I think that'll wrap it up for this episode. So anyway, thank to anyone who might be listening magically or whatever. Thank you so much for listening to the end, listening to our random shenanigans. or whatever.
Yeah.
We try doing this once
We
a week.
appreciate it. We'll try.
We'll try once a week. We'll do our best. We'll see. Anyway, take care, everyone.
Goodbye. Have a great rest of your day, or evening, or morning, or whatever.
I didn't get
Or-
the point.
Really.
Peace.